Standard 10th, Political Science, Chapter number 2, the Electoral Process. If we talk about the process of elections, there are various steps, starting with the establishment of constituencies, finalizing voters list, nomination of candidates and scrutiny of their nomination forms, election campaign, actual voting, counting of votes, results of elections, and resolution of disputes regarding elections. Now, this particular table, please keep it in mind. It may be asked to you as a bubble. Part information may be provided to you in the question and part you may be asked to answer. Every piece of information, every bubble you write, it will be counted as 1 mark. So if you are asked 4 points, you will be getting 4 marks. Restructuring of the constituency. The total number of members in Lok Sabha is 543. How are these members elected? Every member represents one constituency. It means there are 543 constituencies of Lok Sabha. Constituencies means the local areas. Creating constituencies is the responsibility of the Delimitation Commission of the Election Commission. Now, under Election Commission, we have another commission which is known as the Delimitation Commission. It decides how many constituencies should be there, whether new constituencies need to be made, or whether 2 constituencies need to be merged. The Delimitation Commission does not succumb to any pressure while restructuring the constituencies. Succumbing to any pressure. Which pressure? Political pressure. It is an independent commission. It solely decides by itself about the number of constituencies, whether they need to be increased or reduced. Now, what is a code of conduct? We always keep on hearing during elections, now the code of conduct has come into play. Now the parties are not allowed to move around. They are not allowed to advertise. To ensure free and fair elections in India, the Election Commission has adopted several measures. Code of conduct, mark it up as a short note. For 2 marks, you need to write 4 points from this paragraph. The Code of Conduct is one of the measures adopted by the Election Commission. In the last few decades, decade means 10 years. So last few decades means last few tens of years, the Election Commission has used its powers to control malpractices during elections. Malpractices means wrongdoings. The Code of Conduct explains the rules that are to be followed by the government, by the political parties, and by the voters before elections and during elections. Even the government, even the political party which is in power right now, cannot violate these rules, cannot break these rules. Due to the strict observance of the Code of Conduct in the last few elections, the common voters have become confident. The common voters are now finding the elections trustworthy, transparent. Now, what are the challenges in conducting free and fair elections? If you are the Chief Election Commissioner or if you are a member of the Election Commission, what are the problems you will be facing in conducting free and fair elections? If we take into account the size of our country and the number of voters, conducting elections becomes a truly challenging task. The Election Commission has to work in accordance with the law while dealing with these challenges. See, even if the problems are manifold, the Election Commission cannot break any laws of the Indian Constitution just because it wants to conduct a free and fair elections. It needs to abide by the Indian Constitution. Some of the challenges are as follows. Misuse of money takes place to a great extent during elections. How does this misuse take place? The political parties give an account of how much money they have spent. They also need to give an account of where they have spent, how they have spent. Applying banners, giving advertisements in the newspapers and televisions is okay. But if you start paying money to the voters so that they give a vote to you, is misuse of the money. It is called as wrong measure. The Election Commission has to take several measures to stop such a misuse of money. Many political parties give election tickets to the candidates with criminal background. This is a major problem in elections. This results not only in criminalization of politics, but the Election Commission also faces problems in ensuring that elections are conducted in free environment. Why does the Election Commission face problems? Because these candidates with criminal background will threaten the voters. They will threaten the other candidates who are their competitors. They may get the candidates killed because they don't want any competition. They will be using the funds in a wrongly manner. All these problems are faced by the Election Commission. Another major challenge is violence during elections. See, these violence can not only be from the candidates, this violence can be from the public as well. Because the public does not want a particular candidate to contest the elections. They don't like him or her. So they get involved into violence to stop that candidate from contesting the elections. The extent of violence has increased significantly during elections. All political parties should help the Election Commission to control this violence. They should help. But do they help? That is a big question in front of the Election Commission. To retain a continuing influence on politics, leaders give election tickets to their own relatives. Now, one particular candidate has become old or is not well, so that particular candidate will make sure that the ticket is given to his political familial hire, his or her relative. This practice creates a family monopoly in politics. We have examples of so many political parties in India which are run by people from the same family. We do not want to go into the names of these political parties. Examples are galore in front of us. This is what needs to be stopped, because when such a thing happens, the actual candidate who is eligible to think about the welfare of the people, who is capable of working towards the development of the area, the state, the country, does not get an opportunity to contest the elections. So this is a major problem in the process of elections. Electoral reforms. Elections is a continuous process. It's not that once we have elections, it's done forever. Every 5 years in India, we have elections. The future of democracy depends on elections. Electoral process becomes reliable if election process gets improved. Some reforms, some changes are suggested below. What will be its effects according to you? We need to think about it. To increase participation of women in politics, the political parties should give 50% candidature to women candidates and try to ensure that they get elected. Just keeping the seats reserved for women does not work. Just giving the tickets to women does not work. Even after getting the tickets, they need to make sure that the women are given equal opportunities to get elected. Political parties should not give candidature to candidates having criminal background. They should strictly follow the decision given by the courts in this respect. The courts of India have clearly told that candidates with criminal background should not be given tickets or should not be allowed to get candidature for elections. The government should take care of election expenses. to ensure that parties will not make misuse of money and will not get involved into mismanagement of money during elections should be ensured by the government. Representation of the People's Act should be amended so that candidates having criminal background would not be able to participate in elections. We will be stopping here. There is very little left, but we will be continuing it in the next class. Whatever we have talked about, if anyone has any questions, doubts or issues, you can get back to me on WhatsApp. Until we meet next time, take care. Bye-bye.